right, so let me just thank everyone for coming today, and thank you to the City Council. We know that we're expecting Councilman Anthony Moranti soon. The commissioners that are here today, the union leaders, our second-to-none finance team for joining me this afternoon, and I expect that they'll probably have another award-winning budget, so congratulations on what you did last year. You know, stabilizing our city's finances. Over the years, this administration has worked with you, our council members, in taking measures to try and stabilize our finances. We've worked hard over the years to eliminate the drama that we all remember. It wasn't all that long ago that was often associated with our city budgets. We are growing faster than any other big city in New York State. We have new businesses, they're opening. We have development, and all that's moving forward, and we're welcoming new industries like film and production. The city's ability to remain successful over the last decade is due in part to the administration's fiscal responsibility and frugal spending. We've increased revenues, we've merged departments, and we've made financial decisions that have allowed us to stay on the road towards fiscal stability. Despite this, we continue to face gaps in state funding that prevent us from gaining ground. And although New York State has, it's an important point, New York State has not adopted its fiscal budget for this year. Once again, AIM funding, as we know, is flat for 2024 and will, I think, even remain flat in the final budget, even though the city's strong economic growth continues to enhance state funds. We continue to send them a lot more money, but they continue to keep it the same in terms of what we get in AIM aid. So our AIM aid has fallen short over the last 11 years in assisting its urban populations across New York State, especially Yonkers. AIM funding is down $27 million from 2007. So this makes our life difficult, but when you consider, especially when you consider rising health care and energy costs, inflation, and interest rates. Some of the budget highlights that you'll see here. So the fiscal year 2024 budget I present to you today considers this. The overall budget is a $1.4 billion budget. I'm happy to report this budget reaffirms our commitment to education with increased aid, and there are no cuts to our workforce, no cuts to services, and it stays within the state's mandated tax cap. Board of Education, let's start with our schools. Board of Education appropriation represents over 50% of the total city budget and keeps our commitment to education. And included in the executive budget for education is $704.8 million. Once again, the city will increase its contribution to the Board of Education with a combined maintenance of effort transfer that goes up $5 million. Thanks to our state delegation for committing to deliver on their long overdue phase-in of the foundation aid, with the Yonkers Public Schools receiving about $18 million more this year. And while this helps our district for now, we continue to lobby New York State to address the systematic funding inequities in the current school aid formula. We've all talked about it ad nauseum, but it's still there. We're glad that they're funding what they currently have, but we want them to change, fundamentally change the formula so that it takes care of Yonkers in a couple ways. One of the most notable ways is the regional cost index, which is used in the foundation formula. That fails to recognize accurate geographical cost pressures of a district in Westchester County sharing a border with New York City. If made equivalent to New York City, in other words, if our cost of living is considered to be the same as New York City, which I think we all can agree it is, that could bring an additional $21 million annually to the district. Instead, we are looked upon as an upstate school district, like way upstate, where the cost of living is completely different. On the municipal side, The budget includes an executive budget, is our municipal operating budget is $696.4 million. And although the level of reserves as of 22 appear to be historically high, there are financial challenges that lie ahead, and I think it's important that we continue to remember that, and maybe something we should talk about greater as we're deliberating the budget. We're plateauing the economically sensitive revenues, which have somewhat retreated from the heights of the federal stimulus period. People don't have as much money to spend. If they're not spending money, then we're not getting the revenues, right? So we're also going to see the loss of the American Rescue Plan funding, and there's massive growth in inflation. There are surging health insurance costs, and we have the absorption of settled and soon-to-be settled labor contracts, most of which have been settled, but we still have to absorb the costs. This year's executive budget considers these rising costs and below growth trend in economic activity due mostly to higher interest rates while adjusting to the loss of HARPA funding. So this year, the budget that we have prepares us for future years. It's a proposed general fund expenditures, by the way, would decrease by 5% on the municipal side. We're removing non-essential vacancies and concentrating on departmental efficiencies while not reducing services. And keeping this budget in line with the state mandated tax cap. Actually, we're just a tad bit below the tax cap. A 2.95 increase in the tax rate. Just in the past 4 years, we've raised taxes about 1.5% annually. So we believe that this budget sets us up for future budgets and strikes the balance. My hope is that the 2024 executive budget is a basis for discussion and decisions. And in the meantime, we continue to be efficient and conscientious of the fiscal challenges that lie ahead, and we will utilize all tools necessary to keep our expenditures in line. So I look forward to an active and healthy discussion with you, the City Council, and with our different departments. I know the commissioners are all here, and everyone is ready, willing, and available to you so that we can move the process along. So with that, just to see if you have any questions. And it's good to see the superintendent as well. Just to, like I said, the New York State has not passed their budget, so we're using the governor's numbers as our baseline numbers, which is the smart way to go about it. Usually the governor's numbers always hold true. They never go in reverse. I don't think I've ever seen the numbers ever go in reverse from the governor's number. If anything, they go the opposite way, and if they do, you guys have a net positive to deal with on the budget. So that's always a good thing. Yes.
As you said, Mr. Mayor, we are continuing to send more money to Albany in record amounts, and yet they won't get off that AIM spot. I think it's a serious problem. They're getting what they're getting from us, and we're just not getting it back. So I think that, again, that we've always addressed it. We've always talked about it. We really need to see where that AIM money is going to go, whether that AIM money should be. We all know it should be higher. It should be addressed. I mean, we're just, the river. We send all the money up there, and we're just not getting our fair share back. So I'm sorry to say that's still at 108. Stuck at that number.
I know that it was the previous governor that took the position that AIM was somehow charity, yes, to local governments, and forgetting the fact that it was actually, it was revenue sharing, and so and that's why Yonkers did pretty well. And over the last 10 years, we have actually increased the amount of money we've sent to Albany by over 30%, and the AIM, which would be revenue sharing, has remained flat. There was a last in 2011, we did a spun up of $27 million. That was when I was there. Then we were spun out, we couldn't do anything more, and then remained flat through my entire time as mayor. Has been flat. And if now, something that we can use, especially when we speak with the members of our esteemed delegation, we have a good delegation, but I think it's important to remember that the state of New York often boasts about how they keep things within their 2% cap. So they keep their spending at a 2% cap. Well, AIM-aid is part of their spending. Remember, right? They spend, they give us money. So they're spending, if they were true to their own policies, it would be that they would increase us by 2% every year. They have not done that. They've kept us flat, so it means they've taken this 2% and have spent it elsewhere on other projects that they deem more important. So it's something that really, I think municipalities are a boiling point on it. I think there's a lot of local governments that have been complaining for a while, saying, hey, what's up here? Why are we not seeing an increase after all these years? But we would probably see another 27 million or so if AIM-aid was just kept at their 2% rate. All right, like I said, you guys have the budget. There's nothing really earth-shattering in here. There's the capital budget is in here?
Yes.
Yeah, the capital budget, with everything that everyone gave us, we could have spent over $200 million on a capital budget. We're obviously not going to spend $200 million on a capital budget. It's just we don't have the wherewithal to pay for the debt service associated with the $200 million capital budget. We have cut it down significantly. We've cut it down to almost 100 million.
Below 100.
Yeah, just below 100 million. I'm not suggesting that we're going to spend 100 million either, because I think that even that is too expensive. We're going to have to really prioritize and figure out what we're going to do. But in that 100 million is 30 million for the Board of Education, which I think we all agree is very important. So we want to try to get that done, but I think there's going to be a lot of conversation on capital. All right, everybody? Yes, Council President.
I'll put on my budget chair hat and just thank you for this budget. I know that this is a tough year and we're coming up on tougher years, so we're preparing. So thank you for giving us a great basis to begin with. And as we all know, we'll have the budget meetings coming up in the next month where we'll roll up our sleeves and take a deep dive and deep look into what is in the city budget. Thank you for not making any cuts. You know, we worry about the schools and public safety and not making cuts, knowing that we're coming up on times that will be financially difficult, especially with the federal funding ending pretty soon. So thank you for giving us a great basis to start off with here.
Thank you.
So thank you for that.
All right. Water, just so you know, water rates, I think we didn't talk about that. Water rates are we going up 3.99? We're going to go up 3.99. We're just basically passing the New York City rate along. All right. Okay. Well, thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
And thanks to the commissioners. Like I said, everyone's at your disposal, and we're looking forward to a good discussion.